So in this class, we'll be solving another problem, another problem related to concrete mix proportioning as per 10262 2019. So we have solved already the first problem. So in the second problem, I have changed the data compared to the first problem. I have used the different data so that you can able to understand how to solve. So here, design a concrete mix for a concrete of M35 grade. So in the first we did with M40. So in the second we are doing for M35. So the type of cement used is OPC 53. So there we used OPC 43 in the first problem. Maximum nominal size of aggregate is 20 mm, same. Workability, it is 120 mm slump. There we used 100 mm slump. Exposure condition very severe. There we use severe. Method of concrete placing. Here we are using a non-pumpable concrete, that is by using chute. There we used pumpable concrete. So degree of supervision, whatever the quality that we have maintained, we have assumed it as good. Type of aggregate, crushed stone angular aggregates. Then minimum cement content and maximum water cement ratio. For the exposure condition very severe, we have to take the value from the IS code, that is IS 456. From table 3 we'll get exposure condition, and from table 5 we'll get a minimum cement content as well as uh, maximum water cement ratio based on the exposure condition as per IS 456 2000. Next, maximum cement content. So there also you can obtain from the code book, that is IR 456. If we don't get these values in the question, then you have to remember, because IS 456 will not be given in the exam. Only IS 10262 2019 will be given. So for IS 456, if they mention in the note in the question paper, so to provide IS 456 also, then you will get IS for both the codes. So if they don't mention IS 456 in the note in the question paper, then you won't get, only you will get IS 10262. So in that is the case, so whatever the value for the exposure conditions, that is minimum cement content and maximum water cement ratio, please remember from the code book, or it will be given in the question only. Okay. Next, chemical admixture, super plasticizer. They have used super plasticizer, and dosage also it is given in the problem only. That is 2% by weight of the cementitious material. It is given. Then mineral admixture type. Here we have used both chemical as well as the mineral admixture. In the first we didn't use mineral admixture. So in this problem we are using mineral admixture, that is GGBS, that is ground granulated blast furnace slag, as per IS conforming to IS standards. So these are all the data, that is proportioning details. Next, the test data for materials. So these test data for materials, it is obtained once after doing the test on those materials. So cement used, OPC 53 we have discussed in the first proportioning details. Next, specific gravity of cement 3.15, it is a standard. If they don't give also, you can assume it as 3.15. Then specific gravity of GGBS, they have given it as 3. Then chemical admixture super plasticizer conforming to IS 199103. Then specific gravity of materials is uh, given. Coarse aggregate 2.74, fine aggregate 2.65, admixture 1.145. So these are all the specific gravity of the materials which is in SSD condition, that is saturated surface dry condition. Next, water absorption, it is given 0.5% for coarse aggregate and fine aggregate 1%. So I'll give me 1 minute time, so I will make them join. Can you able to see the screen now? Yeah, thank you. So water absorption is given. Next is they have said that the coarse and fine aggregates are wet and the total moisture content is 2% for coarse aggregate and for fine aggregate it is 5%. So in the previous problem when we solved, so for free moisture content, so they have given it as nil. So nil indicates that there is no surface moisture on the aggregates, that is both in coarse and fine. That means we consider it as a dry condition because there is no surface moisture in the aggregate. That means it is a dry condition. But in this case they have clearly given that the coarse and fine aggregates are wet and the total moisture content is 2% and the 5%. So the total moisture content is nothing but it is a combination of free surface moisture plus water absorption. Okay, so sometimes they will directly give the free moisture content data like 1% or 2%. If they don't give, they will give the total moisture content. Okay, so in this case they have given total moisture content. So total moisture content is the combination of both water absorption plus free moisture content. Okay, so total moisture content is given and water absorption also is given. So free moisture is equal to total moisture content minus water absorption. So total moisture content it is given 2% for coarse aggregate, and you can observe in the previous slide water absorption for coarse aggregate is 0.5%. So 2 minus 0.5 you will get 1.5 free moisture content. That means on the surface of the aggregates there is a moisture content. Okay, total moisture content means it is considered as a whole. Okay, but in every aggregate, so there is a surface moisture present in each particle of the aggregates. So that is a free moisture content. So free moisture is equal to total moisture content minus water absorption. So 2 minus of 0.5 you will get 1.5. Similarly for fine aggregate, free moisture content is equal to total moisture content, it is given as 5%, minus of water absorption is given as 1%. So 5 minus 1 is equal to 4%. So sometimes, as I already mentioned, they will give directly the free moisture content as 1.5 or 4%. If they don't give, at least they will give the data of total moisture content. So from the total moisture and water absorption you can derive free moisture content values. Okay, so definition for free moisture, it will not be given in the question, but to make you understand I have put up the definition. So definition for free moisture is moisture in excess of that required for SSD condition in aggregate. So moisture which is in excess, which is required for SSD condition, we call it as a free moisture condition. So in this case, free moisture condition is in excess. So it is 1.5% and 4%. In the previous problem, it was given as nil. So nil means it is the moisture content is less than required for SSD condition. So it is a dry condition. In this problem, free moisture is 1.5% and 4%. It is more than required for SSD condition. So that means it is in a wet state. So next, water absorption. Percentage of water necessary to add to that aggregate to obtain SSD condition. That means the percentage of water is added till we obtain the aggregate in the SSD condition. So this is regarding the free moisture content. I hope you have understood regarding this. Next is sieve analysis. So coarse aggregate conforming to table 7 of IS 383 2016. So sometimes they will give the table and say it is conformed to IS standard of 383. Sometimes they will just give the sentence. It doesn't matter unless they give it as a conforming to table 7 of IS 383 2016. Next, fine aggregate. So they have said that it is conforming to grading 2, so that is grading zone 2 of table 9 of IS 383 2016. So here also in the previous problem it is given as zone 1. So in this problem it is given as zone 2. So these zones are regarding the coarse aggregate or fine aggregate. So regarding these, the details will be obtained from the sieve analysis test. Based on the sieve analysis test, we will able to confirm whether it is conforming to IS standards or not. And for fine aggregate, it will conforms to which zone it belongs. The fine aggregate belongs to which zone, it will be confirmed through the IS code based on the sieve analysis test. So these are the datas given in the problem. So next we'll move on to the first step, that is target strength for mixed proportioning. So f dash ck is equal to, you know the formula, it is there in the code book. In the previous two classes also I am telling about this. So f dash ck is equal to fck plus 1.65 into s, first formula, and next f dash ck is equal to fck plus x, that is x value is based on the grade of concrete. So 35 plus 1.65, for M35 the standard deviation is 5, I have highlighted it. So next for second formula 35 plus x, so for M35 the value of x is 6.5. So I have highlighted it both the in both the tables I have highlighted. So if you calculate it, you will get 43.25 for the first and 41.5 for the second. So as you all know, the higher value should be adopted. So the target strength to be adopted is 43.25 because it is greater than 41.5. So target strength is the average strength that is obtained from the mixed design, whereas FCK is the characteristic strength of the concrete. Okay. So when you cast the concrete based on the mixed proportion that will be obtained at the end, you should get the strength in between 35 to 43.25. Okay, so only 5% can be less than 35 Newton per mm square. So next second step, appropriate air content. So as you all know, we have used maximum size of aggregate as 20 mm because for most of the RCC works we are using 20 mm and down size. So the maximum size of aggregate in the concrete is 20. So for 20 the volume of entrapped air is 1%. So you can see in the code book also it is available. I have taken a screenshot and I have highlighted it. For 20 mm maximum size, the entrapped air is 1%. Okay, 1% means 1 by 100. So volume of air entrapped in the concrete is 1%. So 1 by 100, 0.01 meter cube. Next is the selection of water cement ratio. So here based on the target strength that we have obtained, so the target strength that we have obtained is 43.25. So based on the target strength on the y-axis, so 43.25, and here there are three curves I have explained in the last two classes also. Curve 1 is for OPC 33, curve 2 is for OPC 43, and curve 3 is for OPC 53. So we have in this problem we are using OPC 53 grade cement. Okay, in some case they will give PPC. If they give PPC or a Portland slag cement, then we have to take second curve. Okay, so in the code book only they have clearly given in the note that we have to assume curve 2 in if PPC or PSC is given, but in this problem they have given clearly it is OPC 53, so we have to refer curve 3. So based on 43.25 target strength, so we have to draw a line so that it should touch the curve 3 because we are using OPC 53. So curve based on the line touching the curve 3, and you have to drop that line vertically so that it touches the y-axis, that sorry, it touches the x-axis, that is the water cement ratio. So by drawing a line from target strength to the curve and dropping the line vertically so that it touches the water cement ratio, the value that you are getting is 0.455. Okay, if you draw it in by means of a scale, you will get clearly. So there the value obtained is 0.455. Okay, for OPC 53 grade curve, you can see in the red line which I have marked. But based on the durability aspects, the exposure condition is very severe. Okay, uh, for very severe, the maximum water cement ratio is 0.45. Okay, so water cement ratio should not exceed uh, the maximum water cement ratio given in the IS standards. So from this line, from this curve, we are getting 0.455, but from the table, that is from the table 5 of IS 456, we are getting 0.45. So since lesser of these two values should be adopted, because theory says Abraham's law, higher the water cement ratio, lower will be the strength. So that's why lesser of these two values should be adopted for the calculation. So in between 0.45 obtained from the curve and 0.45 obtained from the table, so the lesser is 0.45. So we have to adopt that value for our future calculations. Still you can assume less than 0.45 also, but we have kept it as we have kept it as per the standard as 0.45. But if you want, you can still you can reduce the water cement ratio, you can assume the water cement ratio. There is no strict rule that you have to adopt 0.45 only every time, because that is a maximum value, but still you can use the less value. Okay, there is no rule that you have to use 0.45 only. You can use less also, but in this case we have restricted to maximum water cement ratio only as 0.45. Okay, so I hope you have understood this step. Next is selection of water content. So as you all know, the table 4 values of the water content is given for 50 mm slump. Okay, so but in this problem, the you have to estimate the water content for 120 mm slump, because the workability is given as 120 mm, and the maximum size of aggregate we know it we are using as 20 mm. So for 20 mm maximum size, the water content is 186. So we know that 186 is for 50 mm slump, but we have to find the water content for 120 mm slump, because 120 mm is given in our problem. So 186 plus 3 by 100 of 186 is for 75 mm. Next, another 3 by 100 of 186 is for 100 mm, but we want for 120 mm. So for every 25 mm increase in slump, we have to increase the water content by 3%. Okay, I have given a calculation also at the bottom. For every 25, we have to increase by 3%. Similarly, for 20 mm, what is the percentage of increase of water? So if you calculate 20 into 3 by 25, so you will get 2.4. Okay, so 2.4 by 100 into 186. I have split up the value, okay, in order to make you understand. If you refer the code book, there is direct, they have given as 8.4 divided by 100 into 186. So to make you understand, I have split up the calculation. 186 plus 3 by 100 of 186 is for 25, another 25 mm extra, that is for 75 mm, plus 3 by 100 of 186 is for 100 mm. So another 2.4 by 100 into 186 is for 20 mm. By adding all this, you will get 120 mm slump. That is the water content for 120 mm slump. So if you calculate this, you will get 201.62 kg. So since we are using admixture, so we have a provision to reduce the water content from 20 to 30% based on the trials. So here we are reducing the water content by 20%. So reducing the water by 20% means remaining is 80%. So the arrived water content is equal to 201.62 into 0.80. You will get 161.29. So approximately I have taken it as 163 kgs. Okay, so you can take 161 or 162. You can approximate it to 162 or 163. I have taken it as 163. Okay, so I hope you understood how you got this value of the regarding the slump. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can ask me at the end. So next is calculation of cement content. That is water cement ratio. We have adopted as 0.45. You know that in the previous in the second step, in the third step, we have adopted the water cement ratio as 0.45. Cement content is equal to water content divided by the water cement ratio. Okay, W by C. So you will get ultimately C as the answer, because W will get cancelled. So 163 is the arrived water content after deducting the admixture percentage, that is after reducing the water content, because we are using admixture. 163 we got the value, divided by adopted water cement ratio 0.45, you will get 362.22. I have approximated to 363 kg per meter cube. So based on the codal provision, that is based on the exposure condition for very severe, so the value is given as 340. So that is the minimum cement content should be there in our concrete. So minimum cement content from the durability aspects, from the code book, it is given as 340 kg per m cube. We should not neglect those values, because whatever the value that we are getting, it should be within that value. Okay, 340. So here we got 363. So minimum is 340. So 363 is fine. But maximum cement content, it is also given in the code book as 450 kg per m cube. So whatever the value that we get, it should be less than 450, and it should be more than the minimum cement content. Okay, so for whatever the value that we got 363, it is less than 450 and it is greater than 340. So hence it is okay. Next, here comes very important part, because in the previous problem, after finding cement content, we went to find the volume of coarse aggregate. But here we need to find the GGBS value also, because in the problem we have used mineral admixture also. Other than the chemical admixture, we have used the mineral admixture also, and the mineral admixture type is GGBS. Okay, that is ground granulated blast furnace slag. So here we have to decide the percentage of GGBS to be used in our project requirement. So what is the amount of percentage of replacement of to the cement? What is the percentage of GGBS that we are using in our construction site? That has to be decided prior to the mixing. That is prior to the doing the mix proportion. We have to first decide what is the percentage of the GGBS that has to be replaced with the cement. Next, in certain situations, increase in cementitious material may be warranted. So in certain cases, because in certain situations we have to increase the percentage of cementitious materials. Why? Because already cement has certain uh, chemicals in it. Chemical composite cement has certain chemicals present in it. Okay, so now we are adding GGBS also. So if we are adding GGBS, that means we are increasing those chemical proportions. Okay, say in cement we have CaO and SiO2 as a major constituents. Now if we are adding GGBS also, GGBS also contains SiO2 and some proportion of CaO. That means what? We are increasing the CaO and SiO2 content. So that's why in certain situations we have to increase the percentage of cementitious content based on the trials. But in this case we are not increasing it. Okay, because GGBS has less of SiO2. Okay, compared to cement, it has less SiO2 and more of CaO, just like a cement. But here we are not increasing the percentage of cementitious material. If we use a fly ash, then we'll increase the percentage of cementitious material, because it has more of SiO2 compared to GGBS. So now in this we have assumed that we are using 30% of GGBS replacement of the total cementitious material content. So 363 is the total cementitious material content, because in the previous step we have calculated the cement content as 363. So 363 is the total cementitious content, and we have decided that GGBS is 30%. That is the percentage to be used in the site is only 30% of the total cementitious content. So this 30% you can vary. Okay, it is not mandatory that you have to use 30% only. Based on the project requirement, it might be 20 also, it might be 40 also, depending upon the project requirement. If they are not given these values, you can assume either 20 or 40 or 30, your wish. Okay, but in the problem, if they have given that you have to use 30% replacement only, then you have to use 30% replacement only. You cannot increase or decrease with that value. So in here there is no provision, they have not given anything like that. So that's why we have taken 30% of the total cementitious content as a replacement of as a replacement for GGBS. So 363 is the total cementitious content into 30% is the GGBS percentage that we have adopted. We get 108.9. So approximately we have taken 109 kg per meter cube. So 109 kg per meter cube is the mass of the GGBS. Okay, out of the total cementitious content. So now cement used is 363 minus 109. So 363 is the total cementitious content and 109 is the mass of GGBS content. So you will get 254 kg per meter cube. Okay, so now the cement, earlier we were using 363. Now by using mineral admixtures, the percentage of cement that is used will be reduced. Okay, that is the advantages of using this mineral admixture. You can make the concrete more economical, because see, earlier we are using 363, now we are using 254. So per meter cube of concrete, so almost we have reduced almost 100 kg. Okay, 100 and 110 kg we have almost reduced. That means what? We are saved 2 bags cost of the cement. Okay, by using a waste product like GGBS. Okay, that is the advantage of using this mineral admixtures. You can reduce the cost, you can make more economical concrete, as well as you can improve the other properties of concrete also by using this mineral admixtures. So I hope you understood this part. So next is proportion of volume of coarse aggregate and fine aggregate content. So here, from the table 5 you have to refer the value. So from the table 5, as you all know, it is given for the water cement ratio of 0.5. I have highlighted it. So these entire values is given for the water cement ratio of 0.5. So maximum size of aggregate used is 20, and in the problem, in the first data only we have referred that fine aggregate is confirmed into zone 2 of IS 383 2016. So for maximum size of aggregate 20 and for zone 2 the value is 0.62. I have highlighted it. Okay, so that 0.62 value is for the water cement ratio of zero point 0.5. So for zero point 0.5 water cement ratio, the value is 0.62. It is given in the table. Now, in our problem, we are using the water cement ratio as 0.45. Okay. So 0.45 means compared to the standard, we have 0.05 lower than the standard value of zero point 0.5. Okay. So zero point 0.5 minus 0.45, you will get 0.05. So what code says that if the left hand side is reduced, then you have to increase the right hand side. Okay, so that is the codal provision. So if the left hand side is reduced, then you have to increase the right hand side. In what number? If 0.05 reduction in the left hand side, then you have to increase by 0.01. Okay, so if there is left hand side, if there is 0.05 reduction, then you have to increase the right hand side by 0.01. So that is the codal provision. You can see I have put it in a, I have taken a screenshot. You can see that. So now our water cement ratio is lowered by 0.05. So what should be on the right hand side? You have to increase the volume of coarse aggregate by 0.01. So now the corrected proportion of volume of coarse aggregate for the water cement ratio of 0.45 is equal to 0.62 is for the standard water cement ratio of zero point 0.5. So now we are using 0.45. So we have to increase that value by 0.01 on the right hand side. So by adding that you will get 0.63. So now for the water cement, so for the water cement ratio of 0.45, the volume of coarse aggregate is 0.63, okay, cubic meter. Now in this case, we are not using any, the method of placing is not pumping. Okay, so in the first data you referred, it is a non-pumpable concrete. Okay, in the first data only we have referred it is method of placing it by chute. So chute means it is non-pumpable, not pumpable concrete. If it is non-pumpable concrete, then there is no need to reduce the volume of coarse aggregate by 10%. In the first problem we did that, because in the first problem it was pumpable concrete. So as per the codal provision, we have to reduce the volume of coarse aggregate by 10%. But in this case, we are using non-pumpable concrete. So that means it is method of placing is done by chute. So it is a non-pumpable. So no need to reduce the volume of coarse aggregate by 10%. So you can keep the volume of coarse aggregate as 0.63 only. So volume of fine aggregate is 1 minus of 0.63. You will get 0.37 cubic meter. So I hope you understood this step. Next, last is mix calculations. So the mix calculation is done for every batch of concrete, that is for 1 meter cube of concrete, you have to do the mix design. So volume of entrapped air in wet concrete is 0.01. We have calculated in the second step, that is a volume of entrapped air is 1%. So 1% means 1 by 100, 0.01 cubic meter. Next, volume of cement formula will be it will be available in the code. You can refer that. Is equal volume of cement is equal to mass of cement by specific gravity of cement into 1 by 1000. Mass of cement, now it is not 363, it is 254 by deducting the mass of GGBS in the total cement content. Okay, so 254 is the mass of cement, okay, divided by 3.15 into 1 by 1000, you will get 0.080 cubic meter. So don't take 363 as the mass of cement. Okay, if there is no mineral admixture, then mass of cement is 363 only. If there is mineral admixture, then you have to deduct the mass of the mineral admixture, then that will be the mass of the cement. Okay, so next, volume of GGBS, mass of GGBS divided by specific gravity of GGBS into 1 by 1000. Mass of GGBS we calculated 109. So after deducting 30% from the total cementitious content, we'll get 109 divided by 3 was the specific gravity of GGBS into 1 by 1000. You will get 0.036 cubic meter. Then volume of water. same formula, mass of water divided by specific gravity into 1 by 1000. Mass of water we calculated in the fourth step, that is after deducting 20%, uh, after reducing the water content by 20%, since we are using chemical admixture, the value obtained is 163 divided by 1 is the specific gravity of water into 1 by 1000, you will get 0.163 cubic meter. Next, volume of chemical admixture. So they have told in the data only that you have to use 2% of 2% dosage of the total cementitious material. Okay, so 2% by mass of the cementitious material. So mass formula is mass of chemical admixture divided by specific gravity of chemical admixture into 1 by 1000. So now mass of chemical admixture means 2% of dosage is given. Okay, 2% of total mass of cementitious material. So total mass of cementitious material means it is not 254. Total mass of cementitious material means it is including GGBS content also, whatever we obtained in the uh, fifth step, I guess. Okay, so 363 was our total cementitious content. In that we deducted 30% of GGBS. So now for chemical admixture, you should not take 254, that is mass of cement. You have to take total mass of cementitious material. So 363 was the total mass of cementitious material into 2% of the chemical admixture. 2 by 100 you will get 0.02 divided by 1.145 was the specific gravity into 1 by 1000 you will get 0.0063, okay, cubic meter. I hope you understood this calculation. So 2% of mass of cementitious, total mass of cementitious material. So 2% by 363, it is not 254. Okay, so next, volume of the aggregates. So other than aggregates, we have calculated all the other volumes. So now we have to calculate the volume of the aggregates, that is both coarse and fine aggregate. So A minus B minus A minus B minus C minus D minus E minus F. So it is all these values. So 1 minus of 0.01 minus 0.080 minus 0.036 minus 0.163 minus 0.0063. So if you deduct all those values from the total volume of concrete, that is 1, so you will get the value of 0.704 cubic meter. So 0.704 cubic meter is the total volume of the aggregates, that is both coarse and fine. So now we have to find the mass of coarse and fine aggregate. We have the formula, mass of coarse aggregate is equal to G. G is the notation of volume of all the aggregates. Okay, G into volume of coarse aggregate into specific gravity of coarse aggregate into 1000. So G value is 0.704 and the volume of coarse aggregate we have found it here, 0.63. I've highlighted it in a bold. So 0.63 into 2.74 is the specific gravity of coarse aggregate. It is given in the problem into 1000. So you will get 1215.24 kg. I have approximated to 1216 kg. Similarly, mass of fine aggregate is equal to G, that is the notation of volume of all the aggregates, G into uh, volume of fine aggregate into specific gravity of fine aggregate into 1000. So 0.704 into volume of fine aggregate is 1 minus of volume of coarse aggregate. So 1 minus of 0.63 will get 0.37 into specific gravity of fine aggregate. It is given in the problem. I have taken a data screenshot. I have taken 2.65 into 1000, you will get 691 kg. So I have a 690.27 kg. I have approximated to 691. So just I have highlighted it, uh, all the mixed proportion for trial number 1. So that is for cement 254 kg per meter cube. Then uh, GGB is 109 kg per meter cube after taking 30% of the total cement content. Then water 163, then fine aggregate 691, coarse aggregate 1216, chemical admixture 2% of the total cementitious content. So 2% of 363, you will get 7.26 kg per meter cube. Then free water cement ratio is 0.45. So these are the mixed proportion that we have calculated. So now we have to do some adjustment, because in the first in the data you saw there was a free moisture content. Okay, so free moisture content was there, and also they have clearly told that the coarse and fine aggregates are wet. It is in a wet condition. That means whatever we find out fine and coarse aggregate, it is in the SST condition. That means it is a saturated surface dry condition. Okay, so all the pores are not saturated, but on the surface the aggregates are saturated. But in the condition they have told that it is in a wet condition. Wet conditions mean what? Even the surface is also saturated, and all the internal voids of the aggregates are also saturated. Okay, so I hope you got the difference between SST and the wet condition. SST condition means all the voids which is there, the internal voids are there at they are not saturated, they are uh, not saturated, but only the uh, sorry, all the internal pores are saturated but the surface are dry. Okay, that is a saturated surface dry condition. But wet condition means even the surface is also dry and all the internal pores are also, sorry, surface is also wet and all the internal pores are also wet. So totally the aggregates are in wet condition. Okay, now we have to do some adjustment for the wet condition. So for dry condition we did similar thing, that is fine aggregate. If it is in the dry condition then the formula is different. Okay, so it was mass of fine aggregate in SSD condition divided by 1 plus percentage of water absorption. Okay, in the for the first problem when we did, it is mass of fine aggregate divided mass of fine aggregate in SSD condition divided by 1 plus percentage of water absorption, because there was no free surface there. Dry condition means there will be no surface moisture, free surface will be nil, then only we say it as a dry condition. But in this case the surface moisture it is given in the problem. So in the data, in the bottom picture I have taken a screenshot. Okay, how to find the surface moisture. So coarse and fine aggregate they have given total moisture content they have given. So free moisture means it is the total moisture minus of water absorption given. So 2 minus of 0.5 you will get 1.5 as the free surface moisture for coarse aggregate. Similarly for fine aggregate, free surface moisture is 5% is the total moisture content minus 1 is the water absorption, you will get 4%. So to find that mass of fine and coarse aggregate in the wet condition, we have a formula: mass of fine aggregate in SSD condition into 1 plus free surface moisture by 100, that is the percentage of free surface moisture. So 691 was the mass of fine aggregate in SSD condition into 1 plus of free moisture. You can see at the bottom for fine aggregate it is given as 4%, we have calculated it 4%. So 1 plus 4 by 100, so you can see you will get the value as 718.64 approximated to 719 kg. Similarly for coarse aggregate, to find the coarse aggregate in the wet condition, the formula is mass of coarse aggregate in SSD condition into 1 plus free surface moisture of the percentage free moisture of the coarse aggregate. So mass of coarse aggregate in SSD condition is 1216 into 1 plus of free surface moisture. You can see in the bottom pic it is 1.5%. So 1216 into 1 plus 1.5 by 100, so you will get 1234.24 kg, so approximated to 1235. If you see the value of the masses in the two different conditions, you can see how much amount of moisture present in the aggregates. So in the SSD condition when we calculated we got the value 691, but in the wet condition we are getting 719 kg. That means almost 20 almost 19 27 kg of extra water is present in the fine aggregate content in one volume. Similarly in the coarse aggregate you can see in SSD condition the value is 1216. Okay, but in the wet condition it is 1235. That means almost uh, 20 kg of extra water is present in the coarse aggregate. Okay, so this is how we have to do the adjustment for the wet condition. So you can see the difference between the values in the SSD condition as well as in the wet condition. Now, what is the quantity of water to be subtracted from the calculated water content? So water content that is contributed by wet coarse aggregates. If you see, mass of wet coarse aggregate is 1235 after calculating in this slide 1235, and the whole mass of SSD coarse aggregate is 1216. So almost 19 kg of water has contributed for the wet coarse aggregate. Similarly, For fine aggregate, mass of wet fine aggregate is 719 kg, but the mass of fine aggregate in SST condition is 691 kg. So almost 28 kg of water has contributed for the wetness of the fine aggregate. So what we have to do? If you add the same water content along with this aggregates present, because aggregates also aggregate data said that the aggregate has water in it. So if you add same amount of water what we have calculated in the uh, third or fourth step, then what will happen? There will be lot of moisture. What there will be lot of water present in the uh, concrete, because aggregate is also in the wet state. So somebody asked in the first day what will happen if there is a rain in the previous day. Then this is what happened, because already the aggregates are in wet condition. If you add the same amount of water what we have calculated, then it will lead to lot of water present in the concrete. So now whatever the extra water that has been taken from the water that is taken from the fine and coarse aggregate, we have to deduct it from the total water content that we have calculated in the fourth step. So the requirement of water added, it will become 163 was the water content that we have calculated. So now we have to deduct the water present in the fine and coarse aggregate. 163 minus 19 minus 28, we will get 116. So for dry condition what we did, we have added the water content, because to make the concrete homogeneous we have to, since it is in a dry state, and to make the concrete workable we are adding extra water to it in the dry condition. But in the wet condition, since it has already have water in it, so we have to deduct it from the total water content. So 163 was the total water content, minus 19 minus 28, so we'll get 116 kg per meter cube. Now instead of 163, if you add 118 kg per meter cube, it is quite sufficient, because already the coarse and fine aggregates are having wetness. Okay, already it has water content in it. So by adding 116, it will be balanced. Now after adjustment for wet aggregates, the mixed proportion now are, for cement it is 254, and for GGBS it is 109 kg per meter cube in both the case. Next, water, instead of 163, now it has become 116 after deducting from the water content present in the aggregates. Now fine aggregate, uh, earlier it was 7691 in SSD conditions. Now we are using in a wet condition, so it is 719 kg per meter cube. In coarse aggregate, earlier it was 16 in the SSD condition. Now in the coarse aggregate in the wet condition it is 1235, and chemical admixture remains same, 2% of the total moisture, total cementitious material. So 2% of 363 you will get 7.26, and free water cement ratio is also 0.45. Okay, so now final mix proportion is total cementitious content 363, so we have taken it as 1. So fine aggregate 719, 719 divided by total cementitious content 363. So 719 by 363 you will get 1.98. For coarse aggregate 1235, 1235 divided by 363, that is, so total cementitious content we will get 3.40. So this is the final mix proportion for the wet condition. Okay. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. In any step, if you have any doubt, you can ask me.